High Court case on Mr Joyce's eligibility to be in Parliament. The High Court has ordered full hearings on the citizenship crisis gripping Canberra to take place in October. Political reporter Matthew Doran is in Brisbane, where the High Court is sitting. Matthew, we'll try this again. How's Tony Windsor been able to get involved in all of this?
Second time's a charm, Kath. Tony Windsor was given the opportunity to join this case because he is deemed an interested party. Of course, he ran against Barnaby Joyce in the last election in the seat of New England. He was defeated by Barnaby Joyce, but as part of that, he was able to make a submission to the court to join the case, and he was indeed granted permission. So his lawyers have also requested the right, or at least reserved their right, to ask the court permission to cross-examine Barnaby Joyce at a later date. The Chief Justice, Susan Kiefel, who was hearing the directions hearing today, didn't seem all too keen on that idea, but but Tony Windsor's lawyers did ask for that right to be reserved. So we will see how that plays out in the coming hearings. As you mentioned there, he has been given the ability to join this case, along with the Attorney General, who has joined all 5 cases that were heard in the High Court today, saying that the Solicitor General, acting on behalf of Senator George Brandis, saying that he indeed has the sort of information and the ability to present relevant facts to the court in these matters and help it get dealt with as quickly as possible, because there is this shadow still looming over Canberra and looming over Parliament House while these matters are still to be dealt with.
Now, Matthew, as you mentioned, this is a directions hearing. It doesn't address the cases, it doesn't address the arguments, it addresses the timeline. Was there any dispute about how quickly these matters needed to be dealt with?
There was, and in particular it came from lawyers for One Nation Senator Malcolm Roberts. The Solicitor General Stephen Donoghue had said that the matters should be heard as soon as the 13th and 14th of September, just around a fortnight away. Malcolm Roberts' lawyers said that was completely unlikely. It was going to put their case at significant harm, and effectively argued, along with some of the other submissions that we heard, such as from Tony Windsor's lawyers, to push that case out. We will now see full hearings in this matter on the 10th, 11th and 12th of October back in Canberra, at which time we will see those more heady arguments about whether or not some of these members and senators should indeed keep their spots in federal parliament. We saw this argument put forward by Malcolm Roberts' lawyers that they wanted time to get their own expert advice about whether or not Senator Roberts was indeed a UK citizen, and disputing some of the facts there, and Tony Windsor's lawyers wanting extra time to prepare their case, considering that they have joined proceedings quite late.
And Matthew, did you learn much more about how the Commonwealth will argue the cases?
We did learn a bit more, Kath. What we've found out is that as far as the Commonwealth's concerned, they are looking at Barnaby Joyce, Matt Canavan and Larissa Waters as one, circumstance, and Malcolm Roberts and Scott Ludlam as another. The argument that they'll put forward is that Barnaby Joyce, Matt Canavan and Larissa Waters never had any knowledge that they were dual citizens, and therefore they shouldn't be disqualified from holding office under Section 44(1) of the Constitution. When it comes to Malcolm Roberts and now former Senator Scott Ludlam, the Commonwealth suggests that they know, or they knew, or they should have known that they indeed were dual citizens at the time of running for office. So they're making a differentiation based on those facts already. The more substantive argument, as you have said, will be heard in October.
Matthew Doran, many thanks for the update.